Let's break another myth down really quickly. Just because you forgive someone does not mean that they are let off the hook. It doesn't mean that some magical fairy shows up when you say the words, I forgive you, that person's life all of a sudden becomes sunshine and rainbows and amazing, wonderful things happen for them. That's not how it works. But we think that's how it works. So let's just flip that real quick. I forgive you has nothing to do with you. Has nothing to do with the fact that you're off the hook or on the hook. What it has to do with is that I no longer want you to control or make me do anything that I do not want to do. So I forgive you for that, good or bad. I had an abusive ex, and I was sitting in unforgiveness most of the time in our relationship. And then at the end, I was kind of like, I have no idea why I think good things will happen to you if I say I forgive you. That's not how this works. I forgive you is for me, not for you. You don't ask for it. You don't even need it. I need it. Why are we making forgiveness and unforgiveness, and which leads to bitterness about the other person? It's not about them. It's about us. Yeah, they've done awful things, and it's not like I don't want to let them off the hook. We're not letting them off the hook. We're just saying, I no longer will allow you to control my mood, my temper, my words, my actions, or reactions out of me. So I came up with my own definition of what I think forgiveness means. So I say forgiveness is actually a daily choice. Daily, because some days we wake up and we're like, you know what? Yesterday I was good. Today, it's a different story. So forgiveness is a daily choice to no longer let a person control you, no longer dictate your day-to-day. It is the release of that abusive person back to them, or that release of that person, whatever they did to you, whatever wrong. It's releasing that wrong, releasing that person, just giving it back to them, cutting the strings that they sewed into you and that they're still pulling because you refuse to forgive. That's my definition of forgiveness. It's a daily choice to no longer let a person, situation dictate your day-to-day anymore. That's my definition, because it is a choice. It's an action word. Forgiveness is an action word, something you have to do day to day to day. And just to break another myth, just because you decide to forgive somebody does not mean you are no longer angry or mad or upset or bothered or hurt or have trauma. Those things are all still there. It's just that you are deciding, I'm not going to let that hurt, that trauma, that past dictate my day-to-day, dictate my reactions, dictate my words, dictate how I do things. No, I'm done with that. That's not going to happen anymore. That's forgiveness. I will let you go. I'm going to take those strings that you have in me that you're trying to pull from me, and I'm just going to move them out of the way. I'm just going to cut, snip, there you go. Because I'm not going to deal with that anymore. You don't deserve to have unforgiveness. You don't deserve to have that kind of string pulling in your life. You want to move on. You want to do things. You want to be happy. It doesn't matter what the person did in my situation, and it was an abusive, toxic ex. But your situation could be way bigger than mine, or smaller than mine, or it could be, repetitive. It doesn't matter. Unforgiveness only creates bitterness and pain for you. That's it. And we talk about it all the time. But for some reason, we still think if we keep unforgiveness, then that person is never going to have a good time. But that's not how it works. They'll have a good time with or without whatever you're doing. There is no magical fairy that makes that person or situation's life any better because you decide to forgive them or not forgive them. The only thing unforgiveness does is keeps you angry and bitter. They do not care. The situation does not matter. When you forgive, it's more light for you. It helps you. It helps you heal. It helps you release. It helps you let go of. It helps you grow. It helps you. So forgiveness helps you. Unforgiveness does not. Unforgiveness does not help the person that you are choosing to unforgive. It doesn't change them. It doesn't do anything to them. You holding that is only making you miserable. Why do we do this to ourselves? Why? This is just a quick little thing to just break this little habit. Unforgiveness does not help. Also, Forgiving whatever has happened to you or forgiving a person who has done something to you does not mean a magical fairy makes their life better and gets fairy dust everywhere. Doesn't happen. Let that go, because for some reason it's in our minds. That's what happens. Let that go. Let the forgiveness flow out of you and just forgive. Work on that. You can still be angry and work through that, work through trauma, work through healing, go through therapy, work through all of that. Just because you decide to forgive doesn't mean those go away. I've already said that. But it is a daily choice, because forgiveness is an action word. It's a verb, which means we have to do it. And something that you do repetitive daily becomes something eventually that becomes automatic. It becomes automatic, and not to say that you forget, it's you forgive. Those are two different words with two different meanings. So just a quick tidbit, just flip that around and see what happens in your life.